Nowadays, it's hard to get things done without a keyboard. It's an object almost all of us are very familiar with. But did you know your keyboard may be the most germ-filled surface in your home? All those times typing with dirty hands adds up, even potentially damaging your keyboard. Dirt and grime can get under the keys, causing issues with typing reliability. You may be shocked to see how messy these things can get. Luckily, if you follow this video, you can get your keyboard looking good as new and practically sterilized, keeping it working perfectly for years to come. Cleaning your keyboard can vary depending on what type of keyboard you have. There are only two basic types, membrane keyboards and mechanical keyboards. Membrane keyboards have a squishy, rubbery membrane that allows each key to bounce back. The downside to these is they have large cavities under each key that can collect dirt and other nastiness very easily. Mechanical keyboards have individual spring-loaded switches for each key. Since the switches stick up off the plate, they're much easier to clean. For this tutorial, I'll be cleaning a membrane keyboard since they are much more common, but this advice is still relevant to mechanical keyboards too. I purchased the nastiest keyboard I could find at an office sale to show that even the grossest of keyboards can still clean up to look brand new. Let's get cleaning. If you simply wipe over the keys and the top of the board with some disinfectant wipes, you may be removing germs from the upper surface, but the keyboard is far from clean. Unfortunately, especially in membrane keyboards, most of the nasty mess happens under the keys. Now, before working on your keyboard, ensure it's unplugged from your computer. Use a keycap puller to pop off keys out of their spots. You can DIY one of these out of a paper clip or just use your fingers. These keys are designed to be removed, so it's unlikely to break them if you're careful. Longer keys like the spacebar, shift key, or enter key often have a metal stabilizer. Make sure to pop these back in if they fall out. It'll take some time, but take off each key and place them in a large bowl. This doesn't have to be done in any order. Once you start taking off keys, you fully understand the extent of the nasty mess that was less than an inch from your fingers. This is one of the dirtiest keyboards I have ever seen. You can see how the tray beneath the keys is the perfect collector of everything you don't want collected. Before getting started on the board, it's time to give the keycaps a bath. Fill a bowl with hot water and dish soap, giving it a good swirl before leaving it to soak for a few hours. The first step to cleaning the board is to simply shake it upside down and spray with a can of compressed air. You can buy these cans at any store with an electronics section. I recommend doing this outside because everything that comes off of the keyboard ends up somewhere else, so ideally not your kitchen. It won't be perfect after this first step, just try to knock out as much loose material as possible. Next, we'll use some very professional tools, toothbrushes. Any cheap dollar store toothbrush works perfect. It doesn't need to be a toothbrush, but it needs to have a fine, stiff bristles that won't fall off when scrubbing hard. With the keyboard over a trash can, start sweeping away as much debris as you can. Now you can see we've made quite a bit of progress, but this is still disgusting. Take a bottle of isopropyl alcohol and pour a small amount into a dish. This liquid is perfect for cleaning electronics as it doesn't conduct any electricity and dries very quickly. If any gets spilled into the circuitry of the board, you don't have to worry. Dip the toothbrush into the liquid and begin scrubbing away at the stuck-on goop. There's not an amazingly fast way to do this, so just be patient and scrub away the debris into the trash. Mixed in the compressed air to blow out any dust and dirt. Now this is looking good. For this board, this process took about 30 minutes, so hopefully it will take less time for you. However, we are not done with this yet. Lots of the hardest to get material can be stuck in the corners of the plastic. Use a plastic spudger like this or a toothpick to scrape these corners out, sweeping and dusting away as necessary. Now let's look at the before and after. Yikes, it's insane how nasty this thing was before I started. This looks great! After some time has passed, let's go back to the keys. Usually, a soapy bath for an hour or two is all the keys will ever need. You can use the toothbrush to ensure there isn't any more caked on gunk. With a strainer inserted into your sink, dump out the keys and begin to thoroughly rinse with water. After they've been rinsed, place them face down on a dry towel. It's best to leave these for several hours to dry. Water can get stuck far inside the key cavity. Once dry, grab another keyboard or an image to remember where each key goes and start popping them back on. This process should be really straightforward. Each key just pops right back to where it was. To reattach the keys with metal stabilizers, just hook the bar below the clips on the board and press down. If it doesn't press up and down correctly, try again. It may take a few tries to get it right the first time. Now we can finally admire the work. Here's the final product. This looks like a brand new device. Before calling it a day, it's good to test out all the buttons on the board to ensure everything is working perfectly. Looks great! It's awesome to get extra mileage out of your tech and keep good equipment from taking up room in landfills. Make sure to periodically clean your keyboard to keep it hygienic and good looking.